So yesterday I forgot to post a video on MrBeast Monday because there's recently been more MrBeast drama, and you know how I am. I cover all of it. I keep track of it all. It's always very entertaining to see because even though I'm not the biggest MrBeast fan, I still think that a lot of the times that people that kind of throw shots his way or throw shade his way, they're kind of out of pocket. None of that shit ever makes sense, and it always just seems random. And that's what this situation is as well too. So for those who are terminally online just like me, that you probably know about the Rosanna MrBeast situation. But essentially the problem she had was the video that she was a part of on his channel about a year or two ago. She came in third place, or that's what she allegedly said she did. She came in third place, but the way the video was spun to, the way it was edited to, for the narrative of it, she never actually came third place in the actual video itself, despite her being there, being a part of it, and coming in third place. And so she was like, this is not right, this is fucked up, how could you do this? When I heard all that, I was just like, I don't know, man. I get it, but here's the thing. Anytime I see situations like this, to me the first thing that comes through my mind is running through MrBeast himself. Talk to him privately, talk to him in DMs. What is the purpose of going out with this? Like, I get it, if you're a small creator like me, someone that has no clout, no connections, no nothing, that can't even reach a man like him, sure, go ahead, I guess, post it all online, because there's no way anyone's going to see that shit anyway. But if you're someone of her size, which we're going to go over in a second, but if you're someone of her channel size, someone that's already been a part of one of his videos, clearly you have connections, clearly you can actually reach the man. So why go through all this? But I'm getting ahead of myself. So today's YouTuber of the week is Rosanna Pansino. I'm pretty sure I said it wrong. I deeply apologize. But her channel has 14.5 million subscribers. Nothing to snuff at. Granted, I've never heard of her channel at all. This is the first time I ever heard about her because of the whole MrBeast shit. So, I mean, maybe she was going for that angle. It worked because now I know who you are. Granted, I still don't give a fuck about your content. But yeah, realistically, her video views are not amazing in terms of her subscriber count, 14.5 million compared to 300,000, 200,000, 300. Like, you kind of expect higher, but at the same time, when you've been on YouTube as long as she has, which is April 7th, 2010, and then you look at some of her most popular videos, she's had a pretty fair amount. It's just that she doesn't really reach these same views anymore. But regardless, still a very big name, very big creator, obviously has connections, was a part of MrBeast video, but yeah, she has issues with MrBeast, and this is what she had to say. So she said, I have been allowing others to treat me poorly in private for many years, and I'm fed up. I'm going to start standing up for myself and finding my voice. And so then we zoom in here. It says, MrBeast lied and edited me out of a top 3 in Creator Games 3. I had participated in Creators Games 1 and 2 and was excited to be part of YouTube's Creator Games 3 hide and seek at SoFi Stadium. After filming had wrapped, I truly couldn't believe how well I did in competition and was proud of what I had achieved. I had placed 3rd. When the video was released, I was shocked, disappointed, and felt hurt. MrBeast had edited the video to make me look like I performed worse than I did. This was extra upsetting because I genuinely believed him when he said his videos are authentic and real. He edited the video to look like the final 3 people were Larray, Logan Paul, and Zach King. The final 3 people were actually Zach, Quackity, and myself. Now, for a lot of people who read that, they start asking her, why would you expect MrBeast videos to be authentic and real when that's probably further from the truth, in the sense of his videos are still meant to have a story, a narrative. It's supposed to be a way to engage people to watch. He's obviously someone who gives a huge fuck about retention. You know, there's a lot of things that go around in terms of MrBeast planning videos. Now, I'm not to say I'm one of his editors or I know behind the scenes of how things work, but let's be real here. For everything that he's always been public and upfront about, he cares about retention, he cares about views, he cares about clickable click-through rates, and he cares about all of it. So it shouldn't come as a surprise that his videos are not exactly the most, this is exactly how it all played out as we filmed it. No, it's going to have a story set up so that keeps people on edge as they watch the entire video, and so they watch it all the way through. Maybe for whatever reason, you and who was the other person she said, Quackity, maybe those two, maybe y'all winning 2nd and 3rd wasn't really good enough for the story, and the MrBeast and his team, he didn't consider it really worthy enough to be part of the video for the finale and rather have it set up for something else. And so then him and his team having Larray and Logan Paul in the top 3 instead of those two were probably better off for the story. I couldn't tell you. It's not to say that it's justified or that, you know what, just quit crying, boo-hoo, grow up. But I don't know, it just seems weird to me because once you see MrBeast videos, so you can kind of tell that there's no way that the videos play from beginning to end and it's all exactly how they filmed it in sequential order. Doesn't work that way. I know it isn't. And if MrBeast and his team sees that putting the story one way goes this way and it's going to be better retention wise and view wise and performance wise, they're going to do that as opposed to the authentic way. Because again, the whole point at the end of the day is to make money, feed his team, keep growing the channel, and doing a bunch of other crazy shit. That's the end of it. For the entire duration of filming, we all wore earpieces connected to walkie-talkies. They would announce in our ears when someone had been found or when we had to move hiding spots. If we didn't move, you were immediately disqualified. While I was still hiding, they announced that they found Logan Paul. I couldn't believe I outlasted him. He is a fierce competitor. It was getting really late. We filmed for over 24 hours straight, and they eventually offered me money to come out of hiding and quit. I declined. I had been counting the eliminations, and I was currently in 4th place, with Larry, Quackity, Zach, and myself still remaining. Jimmy asked us to move hiding spots again to the side of the stadium with the mannequins. It was at this time that I was found in transition moving to my next hiding spot. When Jimmy found me, he brought me to the field to be with the others that had also been found. I thought I had placed 4th. However, Larry had fallen asleep and hasn't moved in a long time, so he was disqualified. This meant I got 3rd place. When I arrived to the field, I saw Matt, Pat, and Logan there because they were seekers now. Jimmy said he was going to go look for Zach and asked me if anyone wanted to join him. I offered to help, but he said he wanted to take Logan instead. So I hung back to start looking for Zach in a different direction with Matt, Pat. I placed 3rd, Quackity placed 2nd, and Zach placed 1st. This is what actually happened. Despite Jimmy editing out the only female in the top 3, I was proud of what I had achieved. I followed the rules of the game, gave it all myself, had fun, and never gave up. They can't take that away from me. And that's pretty much her response. And again, it's really weird reading this. I don't like it's just very intriguing. Like I'm trying to wrap my head around this because I get why she could be frustrated. But first of all, this video came out a very long time ago. This was in December 18th, 2021. Like, this is almost 2 years ago. So the first thing is, why speak up about this now? Why would you never have even bothered to talk to MrBeast in private after the video came out? Is communication that hard? I feel like every time I talk about any story that's drama related or just in general, the biggest thing is always communication. No one ever reaches out. It's just, let me put this shit online for the whole internet to see. And it's like, why, man? Why? Like, I know people are going to say clout, attention, views, and I guess that's pretty obvious, right? But why? It's not right. If you truly believe that you felt wrongly done by MrBeast, then you would contact him privately and you would handle it that way. Not go make this whole little shitstorm on the internet and try and call him out and then try and pin it as, oh, MrBeast didn't want no women in his top 3. I don't know, man. That's kind of reaching, because at the same time, you said that the top 3 was supposed to be Quackity, you, and Zach. Well, Quackity, as far as I'm aware, maybe I'm wrong, but he's a guy. So what point are you trying to make? They ousted him just as they did you. Like, if the top 3 was posed and it was supposed to be 2 women that were supposed to be in the top 3 and 1 guy, then sure, I guess you would have a stronger leg to stand on. But when you sit there and put yourself and then you say Quackity, for you to sit there and highlight the only female to have made it in the top 3, but they ousted me, well, then what about Quackity? Are you just using him as a name to enhance your narrative so that you could try and make a better point? Because it's not working. Now, alongside that post, she did also go on podcasts and try and speak her mind on the entire situation and try and explain it more from her side on why she felt the way that she did. And I want to play some of those clips for you now.
They edited me out somewhere in the middle when really I was top 3. I was just so heartbroken when the video was released because it made me feel like I wasn't good enough. It just feels icky, and it kind of felt like a boys club.
So in that first clip, it makes complete sense. You sit there, you participated in an event, you thought that all your friends and your fans were going to get to sit there and see you perform at the best you possibly can, and you know you did a kick-ass job, and so now everyone's going to go see it, but then when they see the video, it doesn't play out how it actually did in the actual event that you participate in. And so you feel let down, you feel disappointed. You're like, that's not how I did. I know I did a lot better than this, but they're not showing it. That's truly, you're in that complete right to feel that way. You're like, no one's here to invalidate those feelings at all. You are 100% justified, and you rightly deserve to feel that way, because that is something that you participated in and you put your blood, sweat, and tears into to make sure that you did the best that you can. The problem is, people start really questioning why you really are coming out talking about all this when the shit that you said in the last clip, that's kind of like all raises like red flag alarms.
He keeps pressuring me to get on the phone with him, and it's because he can say whatever he wants on the phone to me, lie to me, and then deny everything he said. It's a smart business tactic. He's a smart guy. He's a businessman.
Cynical though.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I learned the hard way.
Now, for the last clip, I kind of have an issue with that because she really tries to paint MrBeast in a bad light, trying to make him seem really disingenuous, that he's going to lie, that he's going to say all these different things and say one thing but then really say something else, which I think is just really odd and just continues to make things look worse for herself. The last thing you want to do when you're trying to sit there and get justice for yourself and you just want to make things right, You don't sit there and badmouth the person that is literally trying to reach out to you and talk to you. If you really have that much of an issue that he might say this or that or that or this, then sit there and let him know. Be like, hey, I'm going to record this phone conversation for myself just as backup in case you want to say something different later or whatever the case might be. But one reason I think a lot of people are probably correct on is the reason he didn't want to sit there and hop in DMs and talk it all out there was because of this situation. And so what does every big YouTuber, celebrity, or anybody who just doesn't think rationally for a couple minutes do? They go post DMs online. Something that MrBeast probably didn't want, and the whole reason why he didn't want to go through this because she's just going to air out everything because she thinks of it as like, I got you. You can't hide no more. I'm putting you to the fire, MrBeast. And so you see right here in the conversation, he says, what's your phone number? I would love to call and see if we can figure out what happened. And then she sits there and replies back, hey, Jimmy, my intention of speaking up is not to be malicious or create drama. If that is true, I keep saying this so much, it makes me mad. If this was true, then why didn't you just reach out? Why y'all act so hard about this? What's so hard? You got connections. You have YouTuber friends. You literally fucking 15.4 million subscribers. You are a big YouTuber. You were a part of his video. I'm sure you could really reach him if you wanted to. You did not have to put any of this shit out there because once you did, for someone to say, you have to be naive. You have to be legitimately naive. If you think that you posting all this shit and you making those tweets was you not trying to create drama. I don't care what anybody says. That is creating drama, whether you like it or not. Whether you think that you were not doing this, doesn't matter because you were. She continues by saying, I was really hurt by the editing decisions you made. Editing me out of the top 3 and making me look like I performed worse than I did felt awful. Quackity was also edited out of the top 3 and he also talked about it. I've stayed silent for so long, it's causing me mental stress and anguish. It's not mentally healthy for me to have someone make me look worse than I am to millions of people. I would never do that to a fellow creator. And for me, I mean, again, I'm not here to invalidate her feelings. I'm not going to be like, oh, you shouldn't feel like that. That's fucking stupid. No, that's not my place. Personally, for me, though, looking at it, I think it's a little extreme. I mean, I don't think that people are looking at her in the video and her not being in the top 3 like, oh my God, oh, she's fucking terrible. What the fuck? How could you not do? I don't really think that people are viewing her that way. But again, I'm not her. But genuinely, if you do feel like that, then I think this is something that you probably should have reached out a lot earlier to MrBeast to deal with. Like, this is something that I think could have been rectified really easily if after the video came out and you genuinely felt that way, you reached out to his DMs and then you could have handled it that way. Not letting this problem build up for almost 2 years. That's where people start to look at and be like, why are you really bringing this up now? Are you actually being authentic? And she might be, but it's just the optics. It's the way that it's viewed. And then MrBeast replies back by saying, I wasn't trying to make you look bad. Just give me a time. We can chat. I'm not mad or anything. Just want to help. And then she goes like full throttle and she just says, why did you lie? Why did you say in the video that you found Logan literally 1 minute before Zach? I outlasted Logan, was proud of what I accomplished. It actually built some confidence in myself that wasn't there before. And then MrBeast said, I don't know, been a while. Let's call and figure it out. And then she says, I'll give you some time to look into and remember, and then we can discuss. I'm more than happy to review all the raw footage to help show the timeline events. Feel free to send it over to my team. Let me know. You know, just her coming out here saying, why did you lie? Why did you do this? Like, the man says he wants to talk it out with you. He wants to rectify the issue. Like, he is trying to handle this like an adult and have a proper conversation. And instead, it's just like, hey, you're a fucking liar, dog. Why are you doing this, huh? You know, why don't you remember all these events right off the bat? I clearly remember them. Why don't you know them? Come on, where's my answers? Like, I think that the message that she said at the bottom, it should have been like, hey, can we review this footage together? You know, something handled privately, and that's it. Don't be posting this shit online. Why? Like, I feel whatever Rosanna was trying to do didn't actually happen the way she was hoping it would. I don't know if she was thinking that MrBeast was gonna have like a bunch of torches to him and people are gonna be roasting him, putting him to the campfire, and everyone's gonna be like, oh my God, I got you back, Rosanna. We're gonna take down this Mr. Fraud, Mr. Liar. We're gonna get rid of him. When in reality, that's not really what happened. A lot of people are like, why are you putting this shit out in public? If you really feel this way, why aren't you talking to DMs? Why are you revealing DMs? Why are you doing any of this? All that does is, for at least if I was MrBeast, I would be a little bit soured by that, because then it makes me feel like that your intentions are not actually what you're saying they are. You said that you weren't trying to be malicious. Then why are you posting other people's private conversations? If you really just wanted to have things corrected, then why didn't you reach out personally in DMs? Why didn't you do any of that? You know, honestly, that's what would go through my mind if I was MrBeast. And so another reason why people had issues with her and why they didn't believe that she was true to her intentions and that she just wanted to get things rectified was because she released this song 3 days ago and it has her name in there and everything, and she already knows that she's popping off. People are looking up her name, so this is going to probably do a little bit better. Granted, it didn't really do that great and she got 14,000 dislikes, But a lot of people are looking at it as like, why would you be releasing this at the same time that you're going through your little drama beef with MrBeast? It seems too coincidental for it all to be lining up together if you weren't trying to get clout, you weren't trying to make drama. You know, again, maybe she wasn't. Who knows? Hard to tell. But to a lot of people, the way they view it is like, this is pretty coincidental. How's this? Something don't seem right. And so for the finale of this situation, she did make her final post talking about it. And she said, I would like to apologize to MrBeast. I should have expressed my feelings privately and handled things directly. I will be removing all the posts where I talked about Creator Games and Jimmy. I will be honest in that the thousands of death threats I received today are a contributing factor, but I do also sincerely hear the feedback from so many of you. Now, of course, as it should be pretty common sense, death threats are not okay. They are never okay. You should never send that to anybody. No matter how much you may disagree or dislike someone, it is never okay to send death threats to anybody. You wouldn't want it sent to you or your family, so why would you send it to anybody else? It makes no sense. Don't do it. Anyways, besides that, her response is fine. It's all right. I mean, again, realistically, just like most of these situations that happen, should have been handled privately to begin with, should have never been ousted for the public to see, but it happened. You can't rewind time now. It's already happened. And hopefully she does learn from this situation and going forward, she doesn't ever do this again if she has any issues or beef with another fellow YouTuber. Anyways, you made this far into the video. Consider giving a like, subscribe to the channel. Leave me a comment below what you think. Have a great day. Yeah.